Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Sunnavati Ashata Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Adaita Gadadhara Sri Vashani Pura Bhakta Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Sri Adaita Gadadhara Sri Vashani Pura Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama
Sai ke pran ko.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
અરે જવું છે હવે.
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
કાલે રાત
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
સીધું નહીં નીકળાયું.
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Sorry.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
એ કંટાળેલો.
Jaya
વગર કંટાળાય છે.
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Gaur Brahmanande Hari Hari Bho Jayam Vishnupat Paramhans Parivrajakacha Jyoshtutra Satvasi Simasila Abhay Charana Rabinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nanda Kori Vaishnava Binda Ki Jai Namah Jai Josila Vedas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त बिंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ समकंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय मायापुर नवोदय धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय लाचवा नीरमणिति धाम की जय भगवद गीता श्रोता पाठकारी भक्त बिंद की जय समवेत वैष्णव बिंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnu Padaya Srimad Bhakti Open Om Darshan. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Dev ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Prabhu's and Mother. Nice to see
Hare
you all.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Mother Aroni, Somen Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Jai Mother Puja, K.R. Prabhu, Mother Dandakesh, Prahladananda Prabhu. Thank you for joining. Let us offer our invocation to Lord Vasudev so that our access to relish and realize SriMad Bhagavad Gita will be easy by the mercy of Lord Vasudev. So please chant together 3 times. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamatiray Nashtaprayesu Abhadresu Nitam Bhagavato Sevayam Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistaki Mukam Karati Bachalam Pangulangayate Girim Jatkripatamaham Bande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Sri Chaitanya Isharam Paramananda Madhava. So we are serving today chapter Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7. We discuss about text 10, 11, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. Last week, in 10, Srila Prabhupada emphasized, just to refresh our memory, how Brahman is impersonal and Parabrahma is personal. Parabrahma is personal means also that each of us should focus on the relationship with the Lord every day. This is necessary. Not that if we keep on hearing, one day it will pop. Well, it will pop means you have to meditate on it every day. That just like you have a friend, family, mother, father, children, you have a lot of relatives surrounded. So similarly, you generally don't focus on how they are related to you in your life. Now, one of the 2 ways you can do, one is negative and positive. When you think of negativity, it is also helpful so that you can remain positive in personal relationship with God. Now, what are the negative we can think? That impersonalists are those spiritualists who believe that ultimate reality is impersonal. If you say, why not, I don't have that problem. No, it is not exactly like that. It is like sometime you are with your friends or family or relatives. Sometimes you feel like I want to be like isolated. I want to go in my closet that I don't have anything to do with anybody else. I'm just tired of life or tired of whatever the existence circumstances you have. You may feel like to run away, go to your closet, lock the door, throw the phone and lie down. You just want to be by yourself. Now we have to be aware that this is not normal for a soul in pure state. It is normal in conditional state, because origin of our contamination of impersonalism, or I want to be by myself, for myself, of myself. I know most of the devotees don't even think like that, but deep down in our heart, we do. We do. We literally, what is there for me? Am I going to be happy in this process? Am I part of this? What am I learning? Am I advanced? Just like so much of self-interest invades our consciousness. So we should remember this. Where this impersonalism originated, from where? I repeated maybe before, and I'm going to repeat this 1,000,000 times more to myself and to all of. We should always focus. There will be always problem in this world. Even amongst devotees, sometimes misconception will come. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our grandfather or great-grandfather, he said, before acquiring material designation, each of us were supremely pure. Even though not engaged in serving the Lord for a moment or whatever the time in the Tadastha region, the soul remained situated in the neutral position of Santaras. If you can remember that. You stayed in a neutral position of Santaras due to the marginal nature. I mean, nothing you can do about it. That's why your originally manifestation, you can say, to expose. Now, you are always eternal. It's not like you were created at some point. But what do we understand sometimes eternal means? I mean, like when you drink water, you think, okay, the water, I got it from the well or from the shop or from some places. You don't think of eternity, do you? Of the water? Generally not. You think it's in the bottle, you know, right? I have in front of me because I was dehydrated after coming from New York. And you think like water, it come from somewhere. Where is the eternity got to do with this? Sarup Damodar Maharaj says, this H2O, this formula, the two molecule hydrogen and oxygen, what causes the water, that's eternal. How many of you really think before you drinking of water? We don't even think about it. We just take the bottle and drink water. But the formation, that how the water is formed, that process is 1,000,000 years back, it was there. 1,000,000 years from now, it will be there. It's never going to change. So eternity, even in this material realm, we have access. But maybe we're not aware. That's all. So, and the Santaras of the marginal nature, though Jiva born from the marginal potency does not at that time exhibit a taste for serving the Lord. Why? Due to lack of knowledge of self-realization. Or you can say direct propensity of serving the Supreme Lord. Nevertheless, we remain, or the soul remain within him in a dormant state. So indirect propensity for material enjoyment, which is contrary to the service of the Lord, is not found in soul at that time. It is there, but it was not found. Indifference to the service of the Supreme Lord, Krishna, and the seed of material enjoyment. I hope you all remember these two things. Indifferent to the service of Hari and the seed of material enjoyment, which follows the state of indifference. Srila Prabhupada says, are nevertheless present within each soul. Marginal means you touching both. You are actually in contact with both. So living entity which belongs to the marginal cannot remain indifferent forever, by subduing both devotional and non-devotional propensity. So what happened? Therefore, each of us started contemplating. Contemplating on what? Unconstitutional activities from that marginal point or position. That's why that verse, Tasya Vayatasya Purushasya Devasthane Bhavata Idancha Paralokasthanancha Tasmin Shandam Titiya Shapna Sthanam Tishtannate Ubhasthane Pashyati Idancha Paralokasthanancha. If you are familiar a little bit of Sanskrit, then you will understand that sloka. Brihad Arnak Upanishad explains that just like a sleeping person dreams, that in the dream is active. Although physically you may say he's sleeping, this person is sleeping. But in the dream, this person is active actually without actually being involved in activities. When the dormant, indifferent living entity of the marginal potency exhibits even a little apathy to the service of Bhagavan or Supreme Lord, situate himself in a neutral, unchanging condition, even for a little time. Prabhus and mothers, you got infected a deadly disease called impersonalism. I mentioned this before, and I hope you remember this whole life. Impersonalism conception, you may feel like natural. Just like people say, I don't feel like I need to think of God or God as a form. It's not natural for me because they are sick. Spiritually, they are sick. They have a spiritual disease that they cannot see. They are infected with the virus or whatever you say, called impersonalism from that point. And that is why the conditioned soul desire to merge in the impersonal Brahman. Deep down in your heart, you'll think like sometime, why can't I just be myself? Just leave me alone. I'm tired of whole material existence or spiritual. I don't even want to hear anything. I want to go somewhere just by myself, just doomed. I don't need to know everything. Where is this idea coming from? That disease. That is why the conditioned soul desire to merge and exhibit his mind's fickle nature. And due to the neglecting the eternal service of the Lord and developing the quality of aversion, I mean, I don't mean to attack anyone, but deep down, if you really think like, if somebody say, why not we chant whole day today? I did finish my rounds. Why do I have to chant? Like, you feel like, just leave me alone. Like, I did my rounds. Why do I have to chant all? We don't feel any impetus. We don't feel excitement to chant because of that disease. It is not the soul's original nature. It is the contamination that we have. So more we understand this concept, then we will develop a desire to come out of that conception, misconception. That due to the neglecting the eternal service of the Lord and developing the quality of aversion to the Lord, we cannot remain fixed in that position. Even materially, we cannot remain fixed. Or even in the marginal, we cannot remain fixed. That's why the cycle of reincarnation goes on and on and on and on. You'll never be happy. None of the soul will ever be happy until they go back home. It's a good logic Srila Prabhupada put. I was reading other day that Om, the sign Om, Om, Om. Om is formless, Prabhupada said, but Krishna has got a beautiful form. I like the logic he put it. And Krishna is enjoying spirit. Always you see the form Krishna is enjoying. Either he's playing flute or with the covered boys or doing something, he's always enjoying. Then Srila Prabhupada writes something. He said, we are also addicted to beautiful form. Now I thought about it. Am I addicted to a beautiful form? Yeah. If a most beautiful girl walk by, or a most beautiful handsome person walk by, or a beautiful garden, very attractive flower garden, or very beautiful some object pass by, we look at one time, two times, three times, because we are addicted to beautiful form. So Prabhupada gave a logic, say why something which is not beautiful, like impersonal, Om, even though Om is Krishna. So Prabhupada put that very beautiful logic. I can see Krishna very beautiful, so many things he does, very attractive. Therefore, my preference should be to Krishna over Om or impersonal. So we are not against impersonal concept of God, but we are not interested because we are attracted to the beauty. In this chapter, if you remember, a couple of weeks back, we read 7.4, you can see in the purport. The Prabhupada writes Brahma Jyoti, which is the ultimate goal of impersonalism or impersonalist, is a spiritual energy. It is not a Vishnu Tattva. So you have to remember that part. Also, if you look at, if you focus on 8 very important component, what constitute our perception of supreme being, then you can see that why devotees serve and jnani or impersonalist. Now you may say, why we are talking about so much about impersonalist when we are not impersonalist? We are talking about impersonalist because it's contaminated our consciousness. If we can remove that, two things, subtle and physical. If we can remove those two, then the pure soul with the love, with the Lord in love. But in order to remove those, you have to identify first what is that contamination within us. And then you have to consciously try to remove it, and then it will be removed. So Srila Prabhupada says to one devotee, Mani Pushpaka Prabhu, and he told me personally that try to engage all your senses, which is impersonalist does not do. For an example, try to hear the sweet voice of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's one. And you can remember this. Then he said, second, touch, softness. You know, you give a hug to devotees, or you touch the flower that offered to God. Something, you see the soft touching, we have an attraction for that. Then we have an attraction for the form. Look at the painting. Even if you're not in the temple, you can look at, on Google's, you can look Krishna's form. Nowadays, Google has Krishna's form. And then you can taste the prasadam. Smell the flowers that is offered to Krishna. Then number 6 is Krishna's affection. You can feel within you. Otherwise, why you join to Bhagavad Gita class today? Because Krishna cares for you. He guided you to come. Don't take the credit that I choose to come only. Yes, you are there, but Krishna also guided. And then number 7 is action. Do something to please him. And number 8 is the power. Meditate on these 6 opulences of Bhagavan. And Srila Prabhupada said, if you do this eight things every day, just think these 8 things, you will be Krishna conscious right then and there. Of course, proportion, how much you do, that much Krishna conscious. So I'm going to mention again. One is sounds. Try to hear Hare Krishna Mahamantra, sweet voice. Second is touch. You can touch deity if you have in your altar. Then third is Krishna's beautiful form. Try to watch. Fourth is Krishna's sweetness, taste, prasadam. We discussed other day about the saliva that causes in the mouth, which is water actually, product of water, that causes the food to be tasty when in contact with the tongue. Then fragrance, flower, try to smell, or any fragrance that you see, Punnagandha Pritibhacha, that we also read that verse last week, I think. Then see the mercy of Krishna in your life, number 6. And then 7 is action. Action. Action is like what do you do with your senses, what activity you do to obtain this love of God. And these are the action. And then power, the focus on Krishna's 6 opulences. If you do this, you will become definitely very advanced devotee in life. With that note, let us begin from text, chapter 7, text 12. Would somebody like to help us to recite the verse? Let's see, text 12. Yes. Mother Puja, you have raised hand.
Yes, Prabhuji, may I read?
Sure.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Text 12. Ye chaiva sattvika bhava rajasa tamasaschaye matta evati tan vidhi natvaham teshu te mai. Word to word. Ye, all which, cha, and, eva, certainly, sattvika, in goodness, bhava, states of being, rajasaha, in the mode of passion, tamasaha, in the mode of ignorance, cha, also, ye, all which, mattaha, from me, eva, certainly, iti, thus, tan, those, vidhi, try to know, na, not, tu, but, aham, I, teshu, in them, te, they, mai, in me. Translation: know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. Purport.
Okay, one second. Mother Puja,
Yes, Prabhu.
what do you take away from this translation? It's very unique, isn't it? This translation is fascinating. I didn't even focus that.
The Lord Krishna is saying that he's everything, but at the same time, he's independent and he's not controlled by the modes of material nature, while on the other hand, the modes of material nature are within him. Yes, that's right.
Very good. In other words, you can say also that Krishna can do anything he wants without his potency. This material nature or all unlimited potencies. But material nature or the potencies, they cannot do anything without his inspiration, sanction. So in one sense, yes, everything is Krishna. But another sense, we should focus, not everything is Krishna. Everything is Krishna and Krishna's. So that will be good. Go ahead, please.
Purport. All material activities in the world are being conducted under the three modes of material nature. Although these material modes of nature are emanations from the Supreme Lord Krishna, he is not subject to them. For instance, under the state laws, one may be punished, but the king, the lawmaker, is not subject to that law. Similarly, all the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are emanations from the Supreme Lord Krishna. But Krishna is not subject to material nature. Therefore, he is nirgun, which means that these gunas or modes, although issuing from him, do not affect him. That is one of the special characteristics of Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Very nice. Thank you. This is a beautiful verse, isn't it? You can really fell in love with Krishna. So he's giving some kind of a conclusion. Je chaiva satti ki bhava. So what I hear from Srila Prabhupada's beautiful explanation, that till now, Krishna has given 14 examples. I was counting actually, that all these last few weeks we went through. That Krishna is the taste of water, Krishna is the sun and moon, the illumination of sun and moon. So if you count, there are 14. After giving this 14 example, now he gives a general principles. Actually, all these are present within the three modes. So some are swatik bhava, some are rajasic bhava, and some are tamasic bhava. So here, bhava refers for nature, to nature. So some are in goodness, some are in passion, some are in ignorance. Everything that exists in material world will be in three modes or in its combination. But all these three matta, eveti tan vidhi, very beautiful. The way Krishna speaks, you can see he is the best explainer of anything and everything. So from me, So Krishna has given 14 specific examples how he is the essence of things. But he is saying ultimately everything that exists is essentially ultimately me. It is all present in three modes. Matta eveti, iti. All comes from me. Tan vidhi Arjuna. Now if you think very deeply, like right now, I'm looking at all of you through the Zoom, how this is happening. There's a three modes is playing here. The Zoom, the computer screen right here, the name, these are product of tamagun, inertia. How do I see? How do I hear? Through the senses. These are product of rajagun. You can see how three modes are playing right here. And to perceive, or perceive to hear, or even seeing, coming from the modes of Sattvagun. So three modes are playing just to accommodate this discussion event. And they're getting purified. The modes are getting purified. Because our spiritual life is not only transcending the modes, also transforming both. So right here, one day we discuss about it, how these demigods are involved in that, and demigods are product of Sattvagun. And the sound vibration, of course, is transcendental, Bhagavad Gita, but still it is carried by the demigod. Like from my mouth, the fire god carries this through this. Zoom is a product of fire god. And then it goes to your ear where Dikpal is there. And Dikpal is another demigod. And the drum inside your ear to the brain, it's connected. And there, some impression is there. Then you can relate, oh, I understand what he's talking about. As a soul, you are floating in the body. You don't have a fixed location. Soul is never fixed in the body. Actually, you have a literary separate existence from the body. But you are inside the body, so you think you are the body. It's interesting. The whole, Krishna, is far greater than some of his parts. We are all parts and person. Even modern science, they often analyze object to be the sum of their parts. We may extend this scientific approach to spirituality. On coming to know that we all are parts of Krishna. 15.7, we'll read that. We may conceive that he is nothing more than some of his parts. I don't know if any one of you ever thought Krishna is like a total of all the living being together with him. I understand he's separately, but he's just another person. But he's not a person what we think of person. He's actually total. But it's very difficult because we haven't met anybody like that. We just hear. Therefore, however, Krishna is far greater than all his parts, unlimited soul or unlimited energies, material energies or spiritual energies. That's why 7.12, this verse states that all the existence manifests from material nature, but he does not exist in nature. Interesting. It's like almost conflict apparently, but it's not. So nature exists in him. In philosophical terminology, this significant difference distinguishes pantheism from panentheism. In pantheism, God is seen as the distributed. I'm sure you all know this, because this idea also contamination within us. We have to remove that. Divine essence that pervades everything. This notion leaves no room for his distinct personal self-existence. And it leaves unanswered the question, where did everything come from? Even Krishna asked this to his mother Yashoda Maya. Krishna asked one time, Maya, where everything comes from? And Mother Yashoda says, she didn't say from nature, she said everything comes from God. Then Krishna asked, where do I come from? She didn't say you come from God. She said you come from me. Of course, this is out of affection. We don't take it as a technical, philosophical question answer. It's a loving answer between Mother Yashoda Maya and Krishna. But it is sweet. We must understand this, because this question comes, where everything comes from. Everybody in this world at some time in their life, I hope they thought, where does everything comes from? So there are different philosophy, and Prabhupada said we have to remove this contamination. Pantheism addressing this question by asserting Krishna's position as a transcendental, as a transcendent source of everything. And he pervades all of existence, all extend beyond in his self-existence. Next chapter, 22 verse, it will points to pantheism. No, panentheism. When declaring that not only is he present in everything, but also that everything is present in Krishna. The later statement implies that he is greater than everything. Now, 8.21, next chapter also, next chapter 21 verse, reiterates Krishna's supreme self-existence by stating that supreme abode, which exists beyond material nature, is his abode. So the point that the supreme whole is greater than the sum of his parts underscores his position as the supreme deliverer. Because Krishna is greater than all of us. We are bound, and greater than material energy whose illusion bind us. That's why in the next verse, 14, stretches his transcendental omnipotence when declaring that those who surrender unto him overcome the material energy. So Krishna exists not just in everything, but also above everything. Please remember this. Krishna exists not just in everything, but also above everything. He exists there not passively, but powerfully. He has the power to deliver us who exist below, provided who seek his grace through surrendered devotion. In case, if you wondered, we don't determine Krishna's job description, what Krishna does, what he should do, what he should not do. Rather, we should think that Krishna determines our. When we approach Krishna, we often have certain expectation. For example, he should protect us. Last night I noticed that I was praying more sincerely because I got little dehydration. Because flying from New York to here, I didn't take anything whole day. till night. So I was praying, oh my God, I was really feeling sick. So we need protection. And Krishna provide for us. If such expectations are not met, we feel that he is not doing his job. Maybe none of you think like this, but I thought, why Krishna is not protecting me? Why I'm not feeling good? Why I'm just going through tough? So, however, we don't determine Krishna's job description, what he should do and what he should not do. He is supremely independent. We may protest. Isn't he concerned about our well-being, Prabhu? Certainly, he is concerned. But he pursues our well-being according to his plan, which frequently differs from ours. Our relationship with Krishna is like a patient relationship with a doctor. Ultimately, the doctor and the patient share the same purpose, curing the disease. But procedurally, cure is determined by the doctor, not the patient. The doctor determines what the patient should and should not do. That is, doctor determines the patient's job description, not vice versa. I hope none of you ever had a doubt whether Krishna protects you or not, whether Krishna is really there for you or not. I mean, doubt may come. Doubt came to me many times in life, and it is removed also. So here, this Bhagavad Gita, this part, why I love Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita actually explains that we are spiritual beings. We are eternal parts of Krishna and are meant for lasting happiness in loving harmony with him. Now, presently, we are infected by many disharmonious desire to find pleasure separate from him. Krishna is an expert physician, Prabhus and mothers. I'm sure you all growing up with that experience. He's an expert physician who orchestrates our life to help us return to harmony. Just as a doctor sometimes uses surgery to treat the patient, Krishna sometimes uses worldly adversities, challenges. Maybe none of you ever felt. I did last night. Surgically to disinfect us. Therefore, when adversities befall us, we need to cultivate a submissive attitude. Krishna, how can I serve you now? Just by shifting our consciousness from problem to Krishna, we will feel some relief immediately, practically. Therefore, the resulting calmness will make us more receptive to his guidance about how to best face that situation. By maintaining a steady service attitude, we will grow through upheavals towards spiritual health and happiness. And we'll realize the truth of the Bhagavad Gita's assurance. 1858, I mentioned this sloka many times. Actually, I was discussing this with a group of devotees in New York. Yes, that's right, in the kitchen. I mean, not kitchen, Prasadam hall. That when we become conscious of Krishna, his grace takes us through all obstacles. So this is from my own experience last night also, that these verses are so sublime and smooth medicine, like a healing balm. Whenever any trouble comes, think of those Bhagavad Gita verses and take shelter of Krishna. You will overcome, guaranteed. I am probably more sinful than all of you, but if I can overcome, you can overcome, for sure. Okay, with that note, maybe we can do one more. Hare Krishna, Prahladananda Prabhu, nice to see you.
Haribol Prabhuji, I was driving, so I just came home and
Nice.
yeah, always on mute, and I was hearing all the throughout from
Very
the start.
nice.
Yeah,
Very nice, Prabhu.
I like your discourses so much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you. Please bless us.
Haribol.
How about text 13? We can recite. Would you like to read that, or anyone else would like to read that? Text 13.
You want me to read, Prabhuji?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. 7.13, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Trivir.
Tribhir guna mayir bhaver ebhi sarma nidham jagat mohitam na bijanati mamebhyah param avyayam. You want me to read translation?
Yes, Prabhu. Synonyms first.
A synonym. Okay. Tribhihi, three. Gunamayehi, consisting of gunas. Bhavaihi, by the states of being. Ebhi, all this. Sarvam, whole. Idam, this. Jagat, universe. Mohitam, deluded. Na abhijananti, does not know. Mam, me. Ebhyah, above this. Param, the supreme. Avyayam, inexhaustible. A translation by Sri Prabhupada. Deluded by these three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. How about the purport?
Yes.
Okay. Purport by Sri Prabhupada. The whole world is enchanted by the three modes of material nature. Those who are bewildered by these three modes cannot understand that transcendental to this material nature is the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. Every living entity under the influence of material nature has a particular type of a body and a particular type of psychological and biological activities accordingly. There are four classes of men functioning in three material modes of nature. Those who are purely in the modes of goodness are called Brahmanas. Those who are purely in the modes of passion are called Kshatriyas. Those who are in the modes of both passion and ignorance are called Vaishyas. Those who are completely in ignorance are called Sudras. And those who are less than that are animals or animal life. However, these designations are not permanent. I may either be a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or whatever. In any case, this life is temporary. But although life is temporary and we do not know what we are going to be in the next life, by the spell of this illusory energy, we consider ourselves in terms of this bodily conception of life. And we thus think that we are American, Indian, Russian, or Brahman, Hindu, Muslim, etc. And if we become entangled with the modes of material nature, then we forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is behind all these modes. So Lord Krishna says that living entities deluded by these three modes of nature do not understand that behind the material background is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many different kinds of living entities, human beings, demigods, animals, etc. And each and every one of them is under the influence of material nature. And all of them have forgotten the transcendent personality of Godhead. Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, and even those who are in the mode of goodness, cannot go beyond the impersonal Brahm conception of the absolute truth. They are bewildered before the Supreme Lord in his personal feature, which possesses all beauty, opulence, knowledge, strength, fame, and renunciation. When even those who are in goodness cannot understand what hope is there for those in passion and ignorance. Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all these three modes of material nature. And those who are truly established in Krishna consciousness are actually liberated. Hare Krishna.
Very nice.
Very good.
This verse has so much in details. And I mean, there is so much to talk. And the next verse is even more powerful because it's all about surrender and the power of Maya. Anyone has any reflection or discussion further? Because if I start, this is not, it's almost class is over, but let's see. Anyone has further discussion or question or reflection?
If you allow me to, if you allow, Prabhuji.
Sure.
You know, in the earlier part of your discourse, you know, I learned about this impersonal, you know, conception, how we got it, and the, you know, the marginal position in Santras and all that. These I had learned some from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Jaiv Dharma book. There are some mention there, and I didn't have clear idea about you know, how we are Santras and we are touching spiritual and material, both natures. We are in that, you know, marginal position like that. And I didn't have a concrete idea about it, but hearing this today, and now my thoughts are quite organized about that. So thank you very much for that. That was my view.
Thank you, Prabhu. That is, in case somebody need a reference, you can read again. This is from Sri Chaitanya's teaching, Immanent and Transcendent. That part, that chapter has this by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Where is the origin of impersonalism?
Oh. Which book you said, Prabhuji?
This is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Sri Chaitanya's teachings.
Oh, Sri Chaitanya's teaching. Okay.
It's a very famous book, some people. I read it few times. I got very, it's just a ontological, very difficult question was answered. And it was very nice. I was very thrilled that he gave that, where this envy, origin envy appears. And then souls are lost. Any further takeaway? From today's discussion, Mother Puja? Mother, yeah, go ahead.
From today's discussion, from the first part, I took away that each of us should focus on the relationship we have with the Lord every day. And what we could use is firstly using sounds, so listening to the sweetness of the holy name, using our touch. We could touch the deities, for example. We could watch Krishna's beautiful form. We could taste Krishna's sweetness through prasadam, and smell as well. And another thing that I took away is that our spiritual life, actually I had a question regarding this, Prabhuji. You said our spiritual life is not only transcending the modes of material nature, but it is also transforming the modes of material nature. So how is it transforming the modes of material nature because we are elevating to the mode of goodness, and we are I'm not too sure I understand how we're transforming the modes.
Everything that we are surrounded by is a product of three modes.
Yes.
Including your body, including your even thought process. The lot of minds is passing through. So when you are engaged in devotional service, you are transcending, the soul is separating from withdrawing the consciousness, or you can say purifying consciousness. Simultaneously, it's also transforming. Those energy, those elements are transforming or spiritualizing. And the place you are, for an example, let's take an example. you bought some flour from a grocery store. The person who planted or sowed the seed, maybe watered the plant and protected it from the weeds, and then slowly the flower grown, and plucked the flower, carried in a car to the shopping plaza, and you went there as a pujari to buy it to offer to Krishna. Now, when you offer to Krishna, what happened? That your consciousness transcended. That's true. But all those people, the driver who carried the flower from the field to the shopping plaza, the shopping plaza manager who, I don't know how exactly details, they keep track all the loading, unloading, suppliers, and then the cash register, and then the person who sowed in the field, the farmer or labor, so many people involved. You know, sometimes you can go even 7, 8, 9, 10 people involved in between. You may think like, oh, it's a simple flower I offered to Krishna. I bought it from the grocery store. How all those people are involved? Well, they were involved to bring the flower ultimately to the lotus feet of Krishna. You are the last person that traded, you can say, in, but that doesn't mean their participant is lost. So they all transform indirectly. They are not even aware that why they are feeling some, some evoking some spiritual awakening. All of a sudden they're passing by, oh, look at this beautiful temple, or look at this beautiful church. They feel some closeness to Krishna because their consciousness is transformed. Some sort of, not completely, because ultimately bhakti means they have to come on their own. But you already given so much facility to all those people just by offering little flower to Krishna. So if you calculate every devotees in America, all these devotees buying milk, buying boga, even getting gas from the gas station. I mean, if you really calculate all these things that devotee actually you're engaging, it's all transforming. Does that make sense? They are transcending their own consciousness, but they are also transforming the circumstances or environment wherever they are.
So Prabhuji, this is very powerful. I think I don't remember where I read it, but I'd read, for example, the Yuga Dharma or the Yajna, our chanting, is not only purifying us, but it actually works on a collective level. We're actually helping the whole world, the whole society by chanting. So this way you're saying that even through our actions that or whatever activity we do in bhakti yoga, whether it is buying flowers and offering them, that is spiritualized because it is used in the service of the Lord, but also all those who were involved indirectly in that are also at some level, they are they're transformed.
Their consciousness spiritualizing.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
One time, actually, the bunch of devotees were singing on the top of the hill, and one Mataji asked Prabhupada, nobody's here, nobody's listening, this chanting. How is benefiting Prabhupada? Prabhupada didn't even wait for a moment. He immediately says, can't you see the waves of the chanting going? It will go miles and miles and purify the atmosphere. You cannot measure how much spiritually people are benefited due to the presence of Hare Krishna movement. So we cannot measure how much is affecting, but we should be thankful to Krishna by engaging, that he has engaged us, he's allowing us. the opportunity to serve. We should focus and thankful for that opportunity to serve is given. So thank you. That was very nice question. And nice point you made. Any other? Or we can close and see you all next Wednesday.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhyo. Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo. Srila Prabhupada